Good morning, everyone. So we're ready for our Monday learning. Let's go over what's on the agenda for today. One of the first things I want you to do is make sure that you can log in to Clever from home. And if you can log into Clever, you should be able to log into IXL. If you are having any trouble logging into Clever or IXL, you can send me a message through Google Classroom or send me an email. They've also posted some links and sent out some remind messages with a way that you can contact the tech department at Ringgold Middle School. But I want you to make sure that you can log into Clever and IXL, and if you're having trouble, let me know, and we will try to troubleshoot that and get that figured out for you. The next thing you're going to do when you go to Google Classroom, you're going to see a post for today like you always do. You're going to watch an Edpuzzle video on misleading graphs. That is the last thing we have to do in our statistics unit. That's the last new lesson. There are not any IXLs that go over misleading graphs, but you do kind of need to be able to pick out if a graph is a good graph or not. So I have found a quizzes that goes over misleading graphs. So there'll be a link to complete a quizzes on there. So give that a try. If you miss some of the questions, just make sure that you pay attention to what the correct answer is, and you can always play it a second time and see if you understood the answers to those questions. There will be a Google Meetup at 1 o'clock. I'll push out a link if you've got any questions and you want to try that Google Meetup. I'm not sure how many people it lets on at one time. I plan on hanging out there in Google Meetup from about 1 to 2 o'clock. So if you can't get on at 1, you can try again a little while later and we'll see if that works. And you don't have to have anything specific to ask. You can just try logging in to see if it works. And we will try to have 1 or 2 Google Meetups through the day. I'll talk to Mr. Millwood today and see if we just want to set some times throughout the day that here I will be available, and we'll let you know what those times will be. So a lot of you have finished the IXLs that we had assigned last week for last week and this week. They're not very time consuming if you've not finished them, but we had I think we had about 3 days of IXL in the classroom last week. So lots of you are done with those. But if you haven't finished, BB 1, 2, 5, 7, and 9 were due last week. Excuse me. My allergies are getting me. And then we also assigned BB 11, 12, 14, and 19. Now, I'm going to be honest, BB 19 is gives you questions about picking out the right kind of graph, and those can be difficult. So I will probably, in the next day or so, create a video with some notes about how to pick the correct graph. That was a 6th grade standard, but we may need a little bit of reminding about that. Okay. Any geometry IXLs, the AAs that you have not finished, those are pretty difficult without having a calculator in your journal. So if you've not finished any of the geometry IXLs, you can just put those on hold until we go back to school. We won't count those against you, so don't worry about those. Specifically, AA 17 was really difficult because you had to be able to find lengths of missing sides. So if you've not finished those, don't worry about that. Also, AA 6, some questions about area and circumference of a circle. That one was really difficult. So if you've not finished those AA videos, you can just put those on pause and we won't count those against you right now. Let's see. When you go today, let me just give you a little hint for when you go today. When you go today and you go to this misleading graphs Edpuzzle, make sure that when you log in to Edpuzzle, you log in using Google. Whenever that's an option, always just use your Google login. When you start the video today, It's gonna, when you hit play, it is immediately going to pause for some reason. Right there, it's going to pause. And so right here behind this, there's a little skip button, and you can just skip it, and then it'll play. This Edpuzzle is going to ask you questions. We know sometimes the first time we watch that through, we don't get those questions right, and it gives you a grade. I do not want you to worry. That grade is not going to go in the grade book. So like I've told you, when we're sitting in the classroom, we don't grade you on practice. You're not expected to be an expert the first time you watch a video or the first time you do something. That's why we practice. So when you're watching Edpuzzle videos while you're at home doing your distance learning, even if it gives you a grade, that is not going to go in the grade book. We do not think that is fair. When you go to quizzes, it should just go ahead and put you right into the questions or the quizzes that is assigned for the day. But just make sure that also with that you log in through Google when it gives you that option. If you are having any questions or having any trouble at all, again, you can send an email, or you can post in the comments for today's lesson in Google Classroom, and that triggers an email to me and Mr. Millwood to let us know that you have a question. And so either way, we'll get an email and we'll see you have a question, and we will do our best to answer it in a timely manner. But if you've got a question, let us know. We're here to help. We'll be by our computers all day, every day. And so if you need us, just let us know. Have a good day.